Welcome back to Forged by Failure. Today we have a battle report where I played Age of Canuck in a local 2K Age of Sigmar league. This continues on from the Sylvaneth battle reports. This is round 2 of the league. It was Helsmiths versus Ironjawz. Let's get going. All right, here's what we'll cover today. We're going to walk through the results up front, talk through the battle rounds, and then go through a conclusion. In the conclusion, we'll talk about some clear actionable lessons that I took away from the game and how I'll keep playing the Hellsmiths moving forward. All right, so results. It was a victory. We got our first victory with the Hellsmiths, and let me tell you, this is the first victory in maybe 10, 12 games I played with them. Not an easy army to play. 64-46. How we did it is ended up weathering a double from the Ironjawz, which you'll see, and managing covering fire engagements to whittle down key units on the Ironjawz as they came in, sustaining lots of losses as they came in for their charges. There was a decisive moment, which is battle round 2 going into battle round 3. And essentially, what I ended up doing was converting tempo of engagements into a crackback double, which ended the game. Okay, so the overview, as I said at the start, it's Hellsmiths versus Ironjawz. We're playing on Creeping Corruption, and the objectives I wanted to do for this match is the list I did in the last video where we were testing reinforced unit efficiency. I tried multiple small units last time. This time we're going to try reinforced units. Trying the air quotations meta battle tactics, intercept and recover and master the pass, and testing this army against an aggressive army like Ironjawz. Okay, so the battle plan we're playing Creeping Corruption. If you're not familiar, you've got it up on the screen there. 6 objectives and a half map for deployment zones. Key to this one is that you can get a lot of points for just taking 1 or 2 objectives and then leaving you free to move about the map to pursue other options. So you don't have to spread yourself if you don't want to, but you'll see that it did impact the game. The underdog bonus is good. It can give you chip mortal damage, or it can give you +1 to cast or prayers. All right. So this is the deployment. As you can see, the opponent's army is 2 units of Gore-Grinders, 2 units reinforced Hardboys, with Hardboy boss, as well as a mega boss on Crusher, brutes, weird boys, and then a mega boss on foot. And you can see strung the gore grunters out to either side. The list that I'm running is 2 reinforced hobgrots, reinforced bull centaurs, reinforced blunderbuss, priest, demon smith, 2 variants of guns. The dominator engine's got the servile automaton, which will come in key, and Uruk Tar. As you can see, I put the Hobgrots as traditional on the line, and he's also chosen to go on the line as an Ironjawz player. Okay, battle round 1. So I did win priority on deployment, and I did choose to go first, which was interesting for me because normally I wanted to go second and start the turn with 2 demonic power points. This time I thought I'll go first and try and get my screens out early. It did end up working because those 2 Hobgrot units, as you can see, one's in the forest on the left-hand side and one's above the forest on the right-hand side. I ran them up the board and attempted to essentially buy a turn to stop the Hardboys or the Brutes from coming into my back lines. End of battle round 1. I didn't really do much damage first turn, just ran up my screens. Second turn, he engaged with the Hardboys on the right-hand side. I caught him with a covering fire with the blunderbusses with a couple power points on them and whittled the about 6 to 7 Hardboys down, and they failed to clear out the Hobgrots. On the left-hand side, however, both the Weird Boys and the Brutes went in and cleaned up the whole Hobgrot unit. I was pretty happy with battle round 1. A little concerned if I had a double coming against me, but I thought I bought myself time and space for future engagements. Okay, so we head into battle round 2, and what I feared happens. Agent Canuck took the double, wins priority. He debates it for a bit, but he ends up taking the double. So this slide below, you can see on the screen what the start state was at the start of battle round 2. I'm worried about those Gore Gunters on the flank. I'm worried about both of them. I'm worried about the Weird Boys and then the Brutes and the Mega Boss coming into my lines. So what I resolved to do is to try and chip away as much as possible before the charge phase occurs and I start to have Ironjawz flying around everywhere. So I do get a counter cast off with Uruktar and Molten Metal onto the Gorgruntas on the right hand side. And then I do get a covering fire off with the blunderbusses, I believe, onto it was a Weird Boys unit that moved up because he obscured the brutes into the trees. As well, I redeployed the Dominator engine forward because it's that servile automaton. It is strike first, so I was happy for it to receive any of the initial charges. So let's see how it worked out at the end of battle round 2. All right, end of battle round 2. Things did not go well for our opponent. I did get a bit lucky. The Gorgunners on the right-hand flank failed to charge. My Bull Centaurs redeployed backwards in the start of battle round, and the Gorgunners left failed to charge. While the Brutes did get into the Dominator engine, it allowed a countercharge from the Bull Centaur complete into the Hard Boys, as well as Uruktar charged into the Gorgrunters on the right hand side, and a cohort is moving up to deal with the Hard Boys on the center. So I did manage to remove practically all of the Hard Boy reinforced unit with the Bull Centaurs, as well as a couple Brutes, and we removed the Gorgruntas on the right hand side completely. End of the battle round. It's looking pretty good for me. I'm hoping for a double just to finish this off. But if he does get the next turn, we do have a full unit of Gorgruntas on my flank, a weakened Bull Centaur unit. And so it is still a possibility of a decent game. The opponent has scored a lot of points up until now, so this next priority is key. What ends up happening? I win priority. I take the double when we agree to talk it out. So we talk through the rest of the battle. It ends up being a 64-46 victory. I do score 2 intercepts because I doubled. He pulled an intercept off. And I do score Master the Paths, both steps. So observations out of this game. I was initially hesitant to take the first turn, but I think it was key just to allow those massive units of Hobgrots to get up there and screen and buy time and space for covering fire activations, for redeploys, for all the things I need to do to try and set myself up to be survivable. What did we learn from the last list? That blunderbuss efficiency, I mean, it seems self-evident, but it's just reinforced itself to me that you want a 10 brick of blunderbusses, infernal razors, and you need to have the CP economy to activate them every turn with the covering fire. Sometimes your opponent's not going to give you a good covering fire, but I would say that activating them nonetheless is probably best use of CP because you will get a lot of damage out of your blunderbusses, even if they're going into something that's not really what you want in covering fire. It's still units removed, and being 1 wound dwarves, we kind of need to remove as much as possible. For me, the Bull Centaurs are great. I mean, a brick of 6 did a ton of damage as you expect it to do, but I got lucky. I mean, a 6-inch redeploy allowed them to stay alive and missile in. But if they get touched beforehand, if they get a spell off on them to degrade them, I think they could be a bit more of a liability. You need them, you need the damage dealing, but I wouldn't run more than 1 brick. And then for me, screens and key to redeploys won the game. The biggest one for me is that Servile Automaton Dominator engine with maces, being able to redeploy forward and to kind of present that if the charge is low or the charge only option is the Dominator engine, it can soak up that charge. When it strikes first, so it can do some damage, soak up the charge that comes into it, and then you crack back on the next turn. So I love that combination. I'll probably keep it in the list going forward. So what's next? I was asked to do 1,000-point starter list. So one of the comments on the previous videos was a request to look at 1,000 points for people who want to get into Helsmiths of Hashut with an eye to building out the forest to 2K and semi-competitive or competitive matches. So sometime this week or next, I'll look at what is a good 1,000-point starting force and allow you to play all facets of the game and get some decent games in your local game store or online on TTS. If you enjoyed today's content, please engage. Comments, Reddit, any Helsmiths community. Let's grow this great army and subscribe, and we'll try and get as many videos as I can out over the holidays, and we'll see you next time.